I was asked to explain why would an insurance commissioner get involved in the issue of global warming. Well, quite frankly, it was by accident. I had chaired a committee within the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, which was dedicated to the oversight of the property and casualty insurance industry. And there had been in 2004 4 catastrophic hurricanes that had hit Florida. And we were concerned. We invited individuals in for a round table. We learned. And it was really in February of 2004 that I became aware that there was an issue called global warming. In March of that year, we heard more from scientists regarding this issue. I, as chair of the task force of the property committee, was given the assignment by the commissioners to study global warming. And I set about doing so with the expectation of holding a symposium in September in New Orleans at our fall meeting on climate change. And I thought that was an appropriate place, and I had said so, because the maps show that with the melting of the polar ice caps, New Orleans would be underwater in a matter of time. Little did I know that there would be a hurricane August 29th, and New Orleans was virtually uninhabitable. I had Al Gore coming. I had done my research. I attended forums. I'd studied. And I learned about the credibility of the scientists that were calling out and saying, there is a problem. We must do something about it. And it seemed that that voice wasn't heard. In December, then, of last year, we had a symposium of various segments of a very large industry. The insurance industry, incidentally, comprises 10% of our national economy, about the issue of climate change. And at that time, we said, this is no longer simply a property and casualty insurance issue. This is an issue of greater import. It's an issue that will ultimately affect the economic, political, and social framework of our society. And it's very difficult for the public to grasp the implications associated with global warming. It's like a ticking time bomb. Now, why would, clearly you're clearly aware of property and casualty insurance. Oh my gosh, there were large losses. And there were last year. Katrina, the combined catastrophe losses in the U.S. related to catastrophes were $57 billion last year. In the year that triggered the concern, they were $27 billion. Now, historically, catastrophes had only comprised 2% of the premium associated with your homeowner's policies. Today, catastrophes are running at 6% of that premium, and we're talking about weather-related catastrophes now. So we're seeing a change in the weather. Why are we getting more severe hurricanes in the coastal areas? It's clear. The ocean temperatures are rising. That heat creates energy, and that energy is translated into intensity when it comes to violent storms. Now we're saying, well, we can expect a $100 billion event. It's certainly a certainty. And this has been driven by a couple factors. Clearly climate change, but we have to think about how we demographically have changed as a country in the last several decades. The coasts have become populated. Roughly 70% of our population lives within 50 miles of a coastline. So we have exposure, we have intense values And now I'm an insurance regulator, and I have a couple responsibilities. The first and foremost, my responsibility is that the insurers that I regulate remain solvent. Secondly, we have to be assured that there are markets, that people can buy insurance and buy it at fair prices in a competitive environment. And with events that can happen and will happen, this industry is going to be taxed to its very resources. And it has had in the past the ability to recharge capital. We can get money back into the industry if there are large losses. Because it takes money, some of you are business majors. You would understand it will take money to finance risk. And if that money isn't available, we have an economic chaos. If there isn't insurance, we don't have new construction. We have loans that will be foreclosed because there isn't insurance on the properties. It's always an issue. And so this is an issue that insurance plays a role. It plays a role from a property and casualty standpoint, but it also plays a role as an investor. Insurance companies invest money. One of the things that the task force that I now co-chair, not only are we looking at risk, but we're looking at options that are available not only to finance that risk, but for the insurance industry to engage. We want the insurance industry to mobilize on this issue, the 10% of the economy that we regulate, to recognize it's happening and to help people, help our political system, help inform them that now is the time. Because we do not have a lot of time to waste. Carbon emissions are such that scientists tell us that it takes 100 years to take carbon out of the atmosphere. This is a long-term issue with long-term implications. And I don't think we can remain ostriches anymore. I don't think we can ignore it. And I think we're going to have to spend the money and the resources to work towards energy alternatives, and I think we're starting to do that, but we're going to have to do more and more of it in the future. How will consumers be affected? Some of the things that we can do for those people that live along the coast, because there are many today that aren't able to buy insurance or buy insurance at affordable rates, that's for certain. But we need to come up with loss mitigation. We're going to have to work differently about how we view building codes and the enforcement of those codes. They may even have to be applied retroactively to existing construction, remediation, if you will. We need coherent land use policies. We can't continue to build on properties that are unbuildable, where the risk is so great that we simply can't afford to continue to finance the risk associated with that kind of growth. So there are a number of things that the task force will be looking at. One of the things that we're doing today, we just worked on a resolution. We will have to ensure the financial stability of the insurance system. We are urging that consideration be given to the establishment of a national catastrophe fund, because we don't know. I mean, we simply don't know how many. It's like roulette. In insurance, we're able to we work to quantify risk and then price that risk. With climate change and the dynamics of weather events, the paradigm is changing, and there's uncertainty and ambiguity, and when that happens, it's very difficult to price. And we need to know more, but the real issue is we have to address carbon emissions, and we have to address them now.